More or Nothing.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Maul or Nothing with Ryan and Max. A bit earlier this week, but we're all good. And Max, we've got to start with Max, Ryan. After all of the hints that were dropped over the weeks, the little nuggets you kept dropping in, Ryan being like, oh, love to see you in the URC, winking at the camera. You're staying at Bristol.
Yeah, there it is. Just nothing fully materialised in the end, Ryan, that was concrete enough, and I was getting twitchy bum time, that time of the year. Exactly, aging athlete. So but in the end, I was happy that Bristol came through, and here for one more year, and see what the future holds for me. It's been fun. It's looking interesting at the moment, boys.
Don't get too far.
Let's not get too far.
Let's just stop for a second and just go back to exactly what Mark said, is dropping little hints here and there, and people that are listening will be like, well, they obviously had the inside knowledge. Max will have told them before it went out on social media. Like, people will be like, oh, they're might be even friends outside of the show. Not a fucking drop from Max to let us know that he'd re-signed at Bristol.
You found out like everyone else.
Like everyone else.
I can guarantee that even your missus found out on social media. I reckon she's like, so are we staying?
That's good. Yeah.
You're fucking
we're here for another year, darling, yes. Yeah.
So you don't have to sell the house. That's good.
Not yet. But
how long have you re-signed for?
Just a year. He doesn't hand out the long termers for aging geriatrics like myself.
Well, for a second we didn't know how much longer Pat was going to be there, did we? But
mate, how quick does it all change?
I know.
It's mental. Rugby's crazy.
Yeah.
It changes in months. In months, literally. I guess that's sort of a reflection of life as well. But nothing's permanent. Everything's subject to impermanence, and things can change so quickly.
Pat's coming in on a Monday morning going, fucking told you boys, here we are. See? This is it.
Oh, mate.
I'm the plan.
99 metres.
It's on. Yeah. This way.
And before we get onto the game as well, the re-signing video, we had a lot of stuff getting thrown around. I do love the Bristol Bears social media.
Yeah.
The guy, we met him before we were down there. And they come up with some beautiful ideas, but that, Max, you had to have a part to play in that. Obviously.
Well, no, I was like, I could do a little. He was asking me, would you be keen to do some sort of Shakespeare? I was like, I dabble with Henry, the Henry speech. I was like, well, why not? And he was like, and then he just threw Bears over Tiger in that first verse, and I was just like, oh, I can get a bit weird with this. And I was just doing that, yeah. Once more under the breach, dear friends. Once more. Let's
I absolutely love that. Oh, my God.
So becomes a man, Brian. Yeah, but you could just get it in and just go in properly. It's quite good credit.
Did you love the comments, though? Like, one of them's like, that's not a prop.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
What the fuck is that? It's literally like this, your laboratory abs on display.
I'm going to roll into the comments quickly and have a little look whilst you boys chat, because, mate, there wasn't just one post, there was 4 about your re-signing.
Yeah, they went big.
Obviously, the legendary pre-match comment, the pre-match chat came out. Yeah, that was back out there. There was a couple photos. They even went as far to put you in your fucking Gryffindor helmet on one picture, which I thought was lovely.
Yeah, they loved that. I'm happy. Yeah.
That's good.
See, I would have had you in a Harry Potter Gryffindor cape.
Like a robe, yeah.
Yes. But I will... people were loving it, weren't they? I mean, even Big Jim, get me a rope. This guy preparing for World War V.
Oh, and yeah. He loves it. Him and Benetton really love the rope. They're the two of the biggest sort of objectors of me doing that.
Yeah.
The fans do love you, though. He is worth his salary for the crack alone. Great to see the characters still in the pro game. Yes, we agree, Twiggy the Twig. Someone put a shirt on, you're embarrassing the backs. It's true. I thought of this. I thought of this, and I saw a little thing on social media of you, a little dance off. What's the guy that looks like the bloke from the Goonies with a bald head?
Oh, Josh Caulfield.
Yeah, I saw Big doing a little dance after the game.
Oh yeah, at the end, yeah. Oh, the boys were loving it. They lost a quiz during the week, so the Locks had to dance off post game. It was so good.
That's why I was.
That's why it was the Locks.
Why are these two? Because it was very awkward. It was very awkward.
Oh, it was so. He went full dad mode, didn't he? It was just.
Yes.
And then Joe Owens pulled out the crouchy robot, which was class because it was perfect for his stature.
No, it was funny, but then my mind started to wander, and I started to think because you get some of the players with their tops off, you get some people that are slightly more worried about how their rig looks in videos, so they cover up. You always got the Sammy Johnston was always worried about the rubber ring, so he would always put something around his waist when the photo came up. When the cameras came out, they would always try and cover up the midriff. But I was thinking, people must just be like, Max, please put a fucking top back on. Even like this bloke here, Phoenix Fitness said, props looking like stage-ready IFBB pros these days.
People want you in wrestling as well. There are a couple of comments saying, next up. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get a little pantomime, jump off the top rope. That could be fun.
Oh, I'm not joking. I reckon we could push for that. I reckon we could get you into the WWE. I think that's
such good
you see, Will suddenly is your agent so quickly. I think I'll get you. For 35%, mate. I'll get you right out there,
mate.
No problem.
I'll do it. Right. Well,
hey, Ryan, you say that we'd have to have the inside track because genuinely, one of my friends texted me being like, with sort of eyes at you re-signing. Because a few weeks before, somebody had asked where you were going, and I genuinely did the whole. So I was like, yeah, well, he's. I think he's off. He's off to Italy. He's off to Benetton. I think Quids wanted him as well. Doing this thing, making it sound like I really knew, and then it was like he's re-signed for Bristol. You literally know nothing, Jon Snow.
Nothing, Mark.
It's sad. It is sad. Here, another thing I want to do as well is I think that it's really important that we put in a fine system in place on this podcast because. Ooh. You boys were both late today. Max, I expected it. Mark, you were 3 minutes late. But I've been thinking of different things we could do. I think we need a fine system in place. For example, Max didn't even turn up last week.
Yeah, what would you like? Do I do a podcast with a mask on or something? Like what?
I don't know. I think we need some engagement from the followers, from the listeners, where they can chuck something in. Where they give us a bit of a fine system. It's got to be something to do with, I don't know, every 5 minutes you're late for the podcast. Because that's how mad it is. You'd think it would only need to be 1 minute for every minute you're late. But, Max, you turned up 12 minutes late today. But this needs to be sorted out. So I reckon we go
put it to the people, to the masses. How should we punish our tardiness? Yeah, good.
Because if we don't have a fine system in place, right? Yeah. If we don't, then things could start to slip. Things could start to slide, or we could start looking into the comments section and start listening to what some of the followers are saying. And if this was to happen, I don't think there would be a podcast. One bloke commented on YouTube saying, "PF Farrell, this would actually be a decent podcast if Wilson wasn't on it. Christ, what an unlikable melt."
So that Max, that's what I was texting you about for us doing our own thing because clearly he's holding us back.
He detracts too much.
For all of Mark's mates that are commenting, can you please stop? Actually, PF Farrell, if it wasn't for me, there wouldn't be a fucking podcast because Max wouldn't turn up and it'd just be Mark talking on his own with fucking producer Will. Amazing. Incredible. Just quickly touch on my purple outfit of the weekend, boys. Did you like it?
I did. I actually did like it. It looked good. Yeah.
Loved the dance, the music, everything that went. Loved it.
A lot of people thought it was actually there was a bit of a split. Some people thought I was genuinely because that's in at the moment, wearing stupid tracksuits like that, isn't it? There's a bit of a weirdly Mark's really confused now. He's like, what? Sorry, people would actually fucking wear that. Even
So
Finn Russell messaged me. Finn said, "Mate, I actually like that tracksuit. It's pretty nice."
I can see Finn in it.
There he is. He's down. He's down.
He'd make
Hey,
it
my
look good,
fellow
though.
kids. What's up, my fellow kids? That was right.
Yeah.
Like Steve Buscemi. What's up, my fellow kids?
Yeah. Finn actually messaged me and said, he said, "Mate, that tracksuit with hands up." And I said, "It's a naughty bit of kit, eh?" He went, "Yeah, I wear tracksuits every day. I get slagged down here, though." I'm like, hold on a minute. Does he think I'm wearing it actually seriously? But yeah, all in the name of the charity, the Glasgow Children's Hospital charity. And I thought, do you know what? I just chuck it up. I went down the shop. It was plaster it purple, so you had to wear a little bit of purple. I obviously took things a little bit too far and went full purple tracksuit. And I thought, why not stick something online? So I thought 250 quid maybe. It's up at 600 quid or something.
I know, how good.
I'm going to, yes.
I saw that, yeah. That's awesome, bro.
Chuck the jacket out there, so someone's going to win that. I was meant to do it last night, but it just kept building. It just kept building. So I thought, I'll do it today at some point. But yeah, so it was nice. But I actually, looking back at it, it's not a bad looking tracksuit. The jacket is lovely, by the way. I don't want to part ways with it.
Don't get lured in. Don't get lured in by the comments all being, because it's for a good cause. And also, don't forget, you're like a VIP gold card holder for that hospital, right? With like 800 children you've had in there. So
well, exactly. I owe them a little bit. So yeah, it was good. But Glasgow did well at the weekend. It was a good night. I enjoyed it. But Barks and Emma Dodds could have at least worn something a little bit purple. I've turned up with a full.
No, that's what we wanted, was that the you just looking completely out of sorts with everybody else. But you look good. You look good.
There was some sharks. There was quite a big Sharks following at the game as well, which I was quite impressed by. And a few of them leaning over. Willie Sonny, we love the podcast. I'm like, yes, get in there, boys. So we're going all right, boys. We're going all right. We talked some rugby.
Let's go to. I mean, Max, you summed it up perfectly with a little. I mean, I know it's harsh, but that's how it felt with the old Simpsons meme.
He's already dead.
He's already dead. Walk us through I mean, it's right from the off, and then it just sort of didn't even. There were even a couple of disallowed ones as well. So I mean, it could have been worse.
I don't know where to start, to be honest. Yeah, it was mental from minute 1 to 80. It was just like the backs were running sideways, like BV on unders lines. Then Veery came on. That was crazy. I've never been a part of a game like that. I've never scored that many points. I've never been in a team I didn't score any of those points, but I've scored that many points.
You've never had the best.
I've never scored points. That's how I should have finished that.
When I saw the score and I heard 13 tries or something, I'm like, fucking Max has to have scored.
Yeah, I got close on a picking a goo, but no.
I know you did right at the end.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to get in on those parties. It was not for me. Yeah. But, mate, crazy. Like, I was seeing some status on Twitter later. They were like, this is crazy. It was like an absolute feeding frenzy. But, yeah. Man,
did it feel harsh at some point? Like, where you're just like, why we do, because it really, watching it felt like it was like they there was nothing they could do, and so you guys were quite literally kicking a dead horse.
Yeah, I don't know, pidgey's the wrong word, but yeah, you sort of, I don't know, like I was on a stag with a few of those gentlemen only a few weeks ago in Edinburgh. We were in Three Sisters being merry, so it was all the more sort of, oh no, this is too much now. 80 points. You're like, good God, like, I wish that on your worst enemies at times.
Maybe
like you can beat a team well with 40. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to do 80, do you? But such is the way of these things. Yeah, sport is a fickle beast.
Was Pat still driving you on? Was he still going?
Yeah, that was the challenge. So at halftime, he was like, "We need to. I want to see 80 minutes of this." Because usually when this happens to us, we'll like start getting too loose in the second half, and then it just devolves into an absolute like shit show of sort of free for all offloads, like 50-50s left, right, and rhubarb. So we were like, let's see how far we can push this dinghy out, and subsequently the boys kept to the game plan.
Yeah. Any calls for 100? Was was it any?
I don't think we envisioned that. We were thinking because of how the table's congested. We were thinking how much of a points difference can we get to separate ourselves from the other teams that are on the same sort of wins as us. So like if we could use that game as a way to sort of separate us if it got so tight, that was sort of the objective.
Well, that's it now. I mean, points difference, you're 138 plus, so you've overtaken everyone else thanks to that game.
Yeah,
but I was just thinking more like 10 minutes to go as everyone going, let's go for 100 fucking century, you bastard.
Oh god, give them that thing.
Boy, did you see Steve Diamond afterwards?
Oh mate, I was in the tunnel and I saw it because they the coaches walked past our changing room to get to their one, the away coaches. Mate, he was a different colour. He was like a deep, deep beetroot. He was furious. You could fry a scrambled egg. You could fry an egg on that man's cranium.
And you heard he said afterwards, he was like, is there any positives to take out of this? He was like, well, I know a bit more about 3 or 4 players. And for a fact that means 3 or 4 of those motherfuckers are getting cut. They don't get a job anymore. That's, God.
He's always had that sort of thing, though, hasn't he? He's always like come in and call the meek. That's sort of his vibe, isn't it? But yeah, he was furious.
Boys, have you ever been on the receiving end of a pasting, but like a proper pasting, 50 odd points?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I've been on the other end of 50. There was a Wasp game with Bath one time, and Nathan Hughes was at the peak of his powers, and he literally was just picking and going from the scrum and running over everyone. He just targeted George Ford, and before we knew it was like a cricket score. Yeah, it was mental. It was like the Wasp team with like Cipriani, etc. It was mental. They were all on fire that year. They made the final few back.
Mine was only the end of last season with Danny. That's when Danny Wilson got the chop. Do you not remember when we went over to Leinster?
Oh yes, of course, yeah.
Leinster blew us away like 60 odd points, and Glasgow were just like, right, that's it, get rid of him. Now he's fucking head coach of Quins, and they didn't do so well at the weekend, but it's brutal. It is brutal, and but then. You look at those Newcastle players, right, and some of the tackling was abysmal, Max. It was like they were just like, touch, fucking stop, I touched you, I touched you. And
young boys, there was some inexperienced backs.
It just looked awful, but when it goes wrong, it just snowballs and like everything goes wrong. And the ball goes in the favour of Bristol and everything goes their way. You just can't get out of it. It's just like
and it's also like that emotional aspect of it. Like you're getting beaten so much that it's so hard to sort of stay buoyed and try and like get control back. It's almost impossible. Like there's like an energy that happens. It's like quicksand. It's exactly like Rye's saying. It's a horrible feeling. You could see it in the boys. There's like slumped shoulders. You can feel the aura around you, and you're like, oh no, this is going to be a long one.
Even their interceptions were apologetic. Did you see? Like it was literally it just felt like they were like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that."
Yeah, that's it. If you switched on that game and didn't have the score on, you could tell what was going on. Like even the way that when Bristol was scoring, it was like people just scoring and then just jogging, like, sorry boys, we shouldn't have done that. But yeah, 2 of their tries with intercepts as well, so they didn't really even have to work for them. So that was brutal. You boys are out of order, Max. You're fucking out of order.
Yeah.
I could see by your face you felt bad after when you were shaking people's hands after.
I was watching that. The double hand.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
No, because you're like talking to boys. You're like, how you going? You well? And you're like, oh wait, I can't say that because you are definitely not well. I said it to Seb, and he was like, yeah, not good. I said it to Tim Cardell. He's like, yeah, not feeling too great. I was like, yeah, dumb question. Poor timing. poor timing.
But what is really special is a 6 hour bus journey back after that, and there'll still be a little bit of crack at the back of the bus where the boys are like,
it's the only way. It's the only way, Ryan.
Yeah.
It's the only way to retain some semblance of your soul. Yeah.
You think they got lashed on their way back?
No, I don't know about lash. I mean, I heard Steve Diamond said, we've got a couple of days off now, so maybe lashed. I mean, that's what I'd
Steve got there.
Booze bus back to the tune. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be like, boys, on there, load of beers, get blind, sort yourselves out, have the right conversations you need to have, and then we'll see you next week.
Yeah, the 2 games before that with Newcastle, they've been fairly competitive. Exeter, Leicester, they've done all right. So, it's all good. But
Bristol, Max, top 4. Here we go, baby. You've done it,
boys. We're in with the big boys.
Well, I think that's their 5th game on the bounce with a win. Obviously, you haven't lost since 2024. That is your record score as well, and actually the 4th highest in the Prem, and the biggest since the old 98-99 season against, unfortunately, Newcastle join an esteemed group of former clubs they are current clubs, but former top flight clubs in Bedford, West Hartlepool and Orrell, who've all been beaten by bigger scores. But yeah, that's more than 50 points for the 3rd home game in a row. You boys are liking things at Ashton Gate.
Mate, it's just been fun, I guess. Yeah, like with some really nice energy. Like everyone's just bouncing, a lot of laughing around. Less time at the club. It's been wonderful. Change of sort of how we were playing from the beginning of the season, I think, has lit a fire up of everyone. So, mate, it has been a lot of fun, actually.
Do you not remember?
Yes.
Do you not remember the beginning of the season?
I told you, stuff changes so quick.
How dark you were. And
that excellent game. Like, I will Supoka right now. I will bring dishonor to the family. Yeah.
Now, there's like summer's creeping in. The sun's there. The longer days, and you're spending less time there. You've got a new house. You've just had a new contract. Look at you now. Look at you now.
I'm fresh.
It's Bristol weather as well now. This is the era, the Bristolian era. 44 clean breaks. And we were all raving about Toulouse making 24 at the European Cup the week before. 51 defenders beaten and 34 offloads. I mean, jeepers. How many breaks, Max? Did you get any?
No, I didn't. I wasn't part of any of that. And those bountiful numbers, I did not feature in one of those digits, unfortunately. But what you must remember is things change quickly. Next week, Welford Road away, the most miserly defence in all the Prem, even though they got their bottom spanked by the men of Franklin's Gardens. No.
Nah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. But especially the way you boys have been going. And Sale obviously did you boys a favour at the weekend there, beating Quins. You're into the top 4. I've got a good omen. Max. No, I'm not going to say it.
Don't do any predictions. No predictions. Please don't predict anything.
No predictions, but I think I've got a feeling that there could be something big coming.
Shut up.
That's all I'll say.
That's all you'll say.
Yeah, imagine me and Mark attending the Premiership final because
we have to wear the scrum caps as well, mate.
Yeah, head case, baby.
Mark with the scrum hat and his old school uniform. It'll be amazing.
This is the new one that's been approved by the...
Oh, good God. It looks like you've got a fucking tyre on your head.
This is the one.
Oh, this is... Oh, God.
This is the...
It looks like you're going to go for a swim as well in one of those... in the
looks
pool.
Like a swimming cap. Max, you can't wear that. Max, you can't wear that.
No, he can. And you've got to grow the back bit. And then once you've grown that out and a little bit comes out at the back...
We're all business up front, and then we're party at the back, baby. We're too
Max, I'm not being funny. Do you I'm sorry, and don't mean to sound so vain, but do you not care what you look like whatsoever when you play rugby?
When it comes to counting my brain cells, Ryan, I do care. I care very much.
Well,
I'm not sure if they're worth it. Is that what you're about to say?
You never put a scrum cast, did you?
Could you get us a couple of those so me and Mark can wear them one?
Yeah, I'll have you suited and booted.
Oh, they are. I can imagine Mark going to some sort of like MMA gym and like being like, I'm going to learn to fight and wearing that. That's what I can imagine.
Well, wait, I'll show you my other one.
Yeah, see, I'd rather you wore that.
Proper gladiator's helmet.
Now
helmet.
Now Max is wearing some sort of medieval tin fucking helmet with.
No. This is an ancient gladiator helmet.
Oh, just what? You just had it lying around?
It looks like a colander, the two colanders put together.
I've trained my pasta in this couple.
Just fucking gladiator pasta.
Max, why do you have that? Where did you find that?
I just had to have it when I saw it because it was just like too cool.
From where?
I think I got it off eBay or an antique.
Unreal.
Oh my god!
Really, it's a real like centerpiece of my living room. It's a great talking point.
Your missus, your poor missus must be like, what the fuck? When she goes to work, she's like, oh, what's Max up to? I think he's just playing computer games in his gladiator helmet back at home.
You're basically Greg Wallace, just locked in your room playing like that history, like.
Oh my god!
And in the move, like Max is going nuts.
Just on a quick, by the way, a quick flip side of obviously Bristol's rise to stardom and the way they've been going. Look at Newcastle. Are they going to be the first team to not win a single game in the Premiership the whole season?
No. Do you remember London Welsh did that? That year. They had a really bad year, a few years back. I think
it was the second time they came up, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really bad. I think they had Gavin Henson as well. He was just coming at the time. I mean,
yeah. Well.
But in terms of other results, Finless Bath doing a great job down at Sandy Park.
Yeah, I reckon that was big, wasn't it? Like there was a little bit of a monkey on the boys' back. They needed to prove that they were still that team without the great man from Scotland, and they got it done, man. They were impressive. Teddy Hill, he's horrible. He's looking glorious and regal, and obviously Alfie the Barbarian. They've just got a really cool back row right now. Like, look at the state of that. You got Underhill, Barbary, and Ted Hill. That's terrifying. That's a three-headed monster. That's Cerberus, man. It's class. Big fan of it. Big fan. And then obviously up front, Type 5 getting it done. Charlie Yules with setting up that wonderful try. The big fella getting out into the open right at the end of that. But, mate, good for them. Good for them. They needed it.
It is. We were worried about Bath, weren't we? But you're right. And the internet wins again. The internet wins again. Tell me you've seen this of Big Alf. There's a photo of the changing room and someone has superimposed. It was him. He's put it on his own Instagram.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Who is that? That looks like Max. Who is that? Who's that? Trade, Max?
Who is that? That's a good shout. We'll figure it out. Let's figure that out. I'll have a good mosey.
For our listeners, describe it, Ryan. It's there's a picture of them in the changing room afterwards, and Max
Adonis-sized in the changing room post-win on the beers, a rippling, chiseled Adonis-like physique. When we
I've got a lot of time for that. We love you, Bath. Yeah, but they are Bath doing good things.
And then I think Saints have probably booked their home tie, do we think?
That was an interesting
with the
game.
hammering of Leicester. Yeah.
At the beginning, I thought Leicester on top. They looked like dominant. They were bullying. I thought they were going to potentially get a dub, but then suddenly a few yellow cards, etc., and Northampton doing what Northampton does, and just smashed them. Fair play to them.
They do look good, don't they?
They do look good. Like Curtis Langdon try down the edge. Fair play to him. Good toe. Fair.
They just look so dangerous. Like that is a big old matchup. What's their running like? Do you know what their running is like? Because they've got top spot, haven't they? They've actually got Quins this weekend. So Quins versus Northampton.
Oh, that'll be good. Quins need that as well.
Well, that's it. Yeah. If Quins don't do something quick, then looking at the table, you've got Leicester, Exeter, and Sale just on a few points behind them, so they're chasing them down. It could all come up unravelled for Quins very quickly.
That's at the Stoop, isn't it?
That's at the Stoop. Twins versus Northampton. That's a big one.
Yeah, that'll be tasty. That'll be very good.
And then Saracens getting themselves back. They also needed a good win against Gloucester.
I was kind of surprised, actually. I thought Gloucester was sort of on a bit of form there, and that they delivered a sort of quite dominant victory over Gloucester. But I think everyone knows what's to play for right now, and they're just going for it. So the teams you expect with those sort of big game players like the men of Saracens, they're coming to the fore now.
Yeah, it's looking pretty tasty at the top, and we're just happy for Bristol pointing one way. But again, still, there's a lot apart from really Northampton. Everybody from all the way really from. I mean, you could probably even say Exeter. Less so with Leicester, but
Leicester,
there's still a chance. Well, no, I mean, I suppose they're only 5 points. They're only 6 points off behind Bristol, and they're in 8th. So there is still a lot.
How many games to go? How many games to go in the
3?
In the Prem?
3 left.
Only 3. Oh, it's fucking tight, isn't it?
Very good for rugby. Rugby's the winner.
Whilst we're on English rugby, just quickly, how weird that you see 2 80-pointers in one weekend because the Red Roses destroyed Ireland 80-odd points. Is that weird? Is that weird that there was two games at the weekend where there were 80-odd points, like quite notable games?
We have to go back in time to see if that ever happened, yeah.
But that's it. In the women's Six Nations stuff, that's them. Grand Slam, am I right? Is it a Grand Slam up there? And they go to France?
Yeah, but typically games against France have always been, the last few have been
they've been very competitive.
Tight. Yeah. So it comes all down to that. But yeah, fabulous stuff from the Red Roses. But tough being at the end of those. So commiserations to Newcastle and to Ireland as well. Ryan, talk us through. We haven't even found out how was your week because you were bouncing around again. You were keeping your eye across on the URC.
Yeah, I was obviously plastered in purple at the Glasgow game against the Sharks. Sharks put out a pretty weakened team. Like no big names from the Springboks. There was Vincent Koch who came over. I think some of them come over this week because they've got 2 games over here. But they didn't put out the strongest team they could. But they put up a fucking fight. And Glasgow, for the URC, talking about the Prem being crazy, the URC this weekend, the results were absolutely mental all over the show. Like with Leinster's losing, Glasgow then should have had a bonus point win. They've got Zebre home and away who are rock bottom. They're 4 games left, but they've also got 2 games down in South Africa. The Bulls and the Lions. So they needed 5 points. They usually get 5 points, and they didn't against the Sharks. If they had done the 5 points on the Sharks, I think they would have gone top. They would have gone above Leinster, and ended up in first place in the log. But they didn't. They missed out on a bonus point win, so a little bit frustrated. But they beat the Sharks. That was a good game. It was with my old mate Barks. And then looking at the rest of the stuff, Cardiff-Ulster looked like a good game. Ulster nicked it right at the death. You thought Cardiff were going to win that one. And they did.
Did you see just on that one, did you see the Welsh Rugby Union memo that they put out?
Yes, read it out.
On their
website,
page. Let me just get this out. But it was the WRU's report read: Cardiff were robbed of a first win in Ulster for 14 years and their first win of 2024 when the TMO joined forces with the referee to rule out a hat-trick try for Theo Kambango and instead awarded a penalty to the home side on the 22 at the other end of the pitch. Between them, the officials decided that replacement prop Rhys Carey had deliberately knocked on a pass on his 22, even though the ball spun backwards and ended up in the hands of his teammate Ben Donnell. Quite big words. Robbed.
Yeah.
and joining forces, TMO joining forces with the dark side, with the referee.
Do you reckon whoever wrote that was just like having a few and just lost the plot?
Seething.
was like, you know what? I'm going to use the social media platform. I've got the account details. I'm going to throw this out there. I'm just going to get it out.
So that was quite it was quite a big statement. So unfortunate for Cardiff. But yeah, Ryan, keep going, because there really were some surprising results over the weekend. A very good one in Cape Town for the Ospreys.
I know. What about it? Oh, Boothie's boys going down there and doing the job. And they deserved it as well. They fucking grafted. You should have seen them. They were on fire, Ospreys. And you go down there and you think, oof, that's going to be a tough one. But they topple the Stormers, 27-21 to the Ospreys.
That's wild. Oh, how good. That'd be a lovely, lovely evening out after that, wouldn't it?
Well, that's it. That's the most important part of it all, is what a lovely evening out for them. Down Cafe Capri. Oh, Cape Town. I'm jealous. Very jealous.
But good enough or it's not. That's what it looks like. You got to earn the right to go wide against these boys. What a legend. Hell of a bloke. One of my favourites.
And that's huge, though, because obviously all the other Welsh regions, not really near it, but the Ospreys now in 7th, and pretty firmly in 7th in there, so they're looking for a spot in the playoffs. They've been the bright spark of Welsh rugby, Ospreys, this season, and it's good to see. There's some nice tries in there. They played well, but then even bigger result in South Africa, Leinster threw the academy shags out and thought, well, we'll go over there. We don't, can we do it? They obviously had huge back-to-back games in the European Cup, so they've sent a bit of a bomb squad down there. But you expect them to still go and do something. But they've been blown away by the Lions, Max. 44-12 by the Lions. And let's not do any disjustice to the Lions. Fucking played unreal. And some of the tries were incredible. They played really well. So the Lions blew Leinster away. But if you're in that Leinster camp, you're going, fucking, you need those boys to stand up. And it's unheard of, isn't it? Like we talk about this well-oiled machine where anyone that slots in goes and does the job.
Doing the job, yeah. Not this time.
Not this time. No, they.
But with the Lions are the team that has the least sort of springboks, isn't it? It's sort of the battler South African team, isn't it? But they're doing really well. Yeah,
mate. They were impressive. They were really impressive, and it worries me now. Glasgow have got to go down there against them and the Bulls. But that's huge. Talking about Leinster, Geordie Barrett.
Yeah, forgot. That's a bit mental, isn't it? RG Snyman and Geordie Barrett. Where's the other provinces getting their big kahuna?
The Galacticos.
Big cojones, huh?
Oh, hold on a minute. Not only that. So can you imagine being Connacht, Munster and Ulster, right? And sitting there going, hold on a minute. So they're getting Geordie Barrett.
Yeah, exactly.
Hold on. They're also moving to the Aviva next season, aren't they?
Yes, they are. All their home games at the Aviva next season.
Leinster moving to the Aviva. Right. So
right. Hey, we've got to keep that eye, the green machine rolling, boys.
Well, that's it. Because have you seen some of the teams getting thrown out there for the potential team for next season for Leinster? Or, well, for the end of the season for Leinster? It's just incredible.
Yeah, it's an awesome team just to chuck a little Springbok in there, maybe one of the best backs in the All Blacks team. Like a nice utility back. So they don't even have to they can just say whatever they want about his position because he can play everywhere. And like RG Snyman's he's like a circus freak, isn't he? So yeah, it's looking like a compelling team for next season.
I mean, we get it from Leinster's perspective. You're literally getting, an elite rugby player who's done it internationally and on the biggest stages in different positions as a fullback and as a inside centre. What are we thinking from Barrett's perspective? Because it is quite an interesting call, right? He's coming over, slotting into an amazing machine, but they've got Hugo Keenan at fullback, so I guess is he coming in at inside centre? What was his thinking?
I think he comes in at centres, but his thinking is, I've got an opportunity to win 2 trophies here. He comes in before the end of the season. He comes in just
opportunity, yeah.
European Cup, URC. Imagine that, just waltzing in last few months of the season, winning a European Cup winning the URC title, and then pissing back off and going back to Super Rugby.
It's like,
do you think that's literally it? It's like,
I wouldn't even call it an opportunity. It's like I probably have the strongest chance of just getting the double trophy here. Come in, have a little taste of a different culture. Go to a team that's beaten beaten the ABs fairly consistently over the years. I mean, obviously the big boo boo most recently, but like that's great. Yeah, I completely agree with Ryan. That's
a lot of pressure on him to perform though. He's got to come over and just slot in, click in, and go into that.
Yeah.
And so, it's a big call, but far out.
You see the Croke Park's absolutely sold out for the Leinster Northampton game.
Within hours.
Within
83,200.
It's gonna be mental. Oh, that would be so fun, wouldn't it? Croke Park's the one where the pitch is sort of a bit off the stands, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, massive place. Yeah.
But you look at that, like the way that Leinster Rugby's going. Man, yeah, fair play to them. So, yeah, Leinster have got it all going for them, except for the weekend when they got hammered by the Lions. So they'll be a bit pissed.
Oh, wait, I want the Nahamba fella to be playing for the Box, by the way. That little fella, oh, man, what a talent. Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's as sharp as they come.
Oh,
he's good.
Incredible, yeah.
Ryan, quick word on your favourite team also going to South Africa and picking up a win.
I know, against the Bulls. They're like, fucking things just get worse. They get slagged last week for throwing out a weakened team. There was a lot of comments by the way in last week's episode about the whole European Cup debacle and them sending over the Bulls and people not being very happy. But also a lot of South African fans in there saying, well, we were dealt the cards. Because apparently Bulls are owned by 2 billionaires. You know that?
No. So what do they mean we were dealt the cards? What does that mean?
Well, they were basically saying that the EPRC or European Rugby are the ones that do sort the flights out for them and sort them out.
I see.
No, it's not the EPRC. It's the Rugby South Africa, I think, sorts it.
So they could have chartered a flight if they wanted to, I think, because they've got 2 billionaires. But yeah, not very happy about that. But the Bulls, getting done by Munster over there 22-27. And for once, it was good. We needed Munster to do us a favour, Glasgow, so I wasn't too worried about that one. They scraped through. Again, we talk about how tight the league is. From 11th to 5th, there's only 3 points in it. 3 points in it up to Benetton at 5th. So anything can happen. 4 games left in the URC. She's tight at the top again. Glasgow 1 point off of Leinster. It's Glasgow pretty much secured themselves the home quarter, but everyone wants to make sure, like we were talking about last week, if you finish top 2, you then secure yourself a home semi as well if you win your quarter. So it's pretty big. But yeah, the Bulls and Jake White won't be happy with that.
Do you think they'd be happy? Did you see Courtney Laws saying that it was exact? He said I think my take, it's a very South African thing to do that whole carnival around it, putting it out in the press about 8 different flights, this and that. I guarantee you it wasn't 8 different flights, and the players all probably got there all very much at the same time. Maybe the staff got there a bit of a different time. I guarantee you things were at least exaggerated. It's a very South African thing.
But, they want to focus on this. But you do look at that again last week, and you look at the way that La Rochelle just got completely and utterly destroyed by Leinster. They're travelling Wrexham, mate. And even the Sharks doing it this week. I know they're focusing on the Challenge Cup stuff, but you've got to deal. There's someone else I think in the comments wrote you have to play 41 players or something as well. Is that true? I don't think that's true. I'm sure you don't have to play 41 players throughout the thing.
No, I think you have to. You have to register. Yeah, you have to register. I don't know if you have to play 41 different players though. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, that's what I think he was saying. I don't think you actually have to play them all.
But boys, have you been in that situation though, Ryan or Max, where because obviously there was a lot of media furore around the devaluation of the European Cup, and that, hey, look, fair enough, they're concentrating on the URC, they want that home semi-final, fair enough. But then when you go and lose the game that you saved all your players for at home, to a direct rival, right? Because Munster then jump above them in the table. How does that affect, squad, even how the fans feel?
Yeah, well, there's times. So you're asking basically, has it ever happened where that's affected us? Because
where you've been rested because you're concentrating on something, and then suddenly you guys don't win that game, and actually everybody you've basically lost. You've lost twice effectively, which both in an actual game situation, but also in the sort of psychological style.
No, I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever been part of something like that. I don't think I feel like with Glasgow, we always had a team where it was 50 players, and actually whoever you fielded, you'd be like, there would maybe be some weakened teams, but it was never of the calibre of like the Sharks dropping 8 Springboks for a game.
Yeah,
that's 8 World Cup winners.
When you say like any team I've been a part of, it's like been a few positions. It's never like a wholesale change, like to like the second choice team or something. That's sort of what we're alluding to. Usually it's like a few guys in key positions who've had a lot of minutes. That's it, really. So there's never like a massive change sort of in performance, like something like pulling 8 Springboks would do to a team.
Or like Leinster did, last week, Leinster versus La Rochelle, beating the European champions fucking comfortably, and then going over to the Lions, who you'd expect them to do pretty well against, but complete changes throughout the whole team, and then losing 44-12. Like that's just, do you know what I mean? From one week to that, like imagine reviewing that. Imagine the coaches. What are the boys that just played the week before? And
they'll be like, it's good. They needed it. They'll be like, yeah. Good experience.
Well, that's like old times. There's a line in the sand, and we won't go back there. Yeah. There's a line in the sand.
But it would be interesting to hear from our South African fans, or from the Bulls fans in particular, how they felt having seen them basically having to, lambs to the slaughter in Europe, and then unfortunately not being able to back it up at home. It'd be interesting to hear from them.
Boys, hold on. So the England women beat Ireland women 88-10. Bristol, what was your score, Max? 84-14
or something.
Yeah.
84-14. Hold on. Luxembourg beat Slovenia 84-7. This weekend. Oh my God. Luxembourg, congratulations. I was just flicking through the international.
Yeah, just whilst I love it, whilst we're chatting, Max, he's just in the background looking up the Luxembourg-Slovenia score.
Well, if you wanted to know that Latvia beat Denmark 29-25, Bulgaria actually beat Serbia 30-7. And then, oh God, I'm going to butcher this, but Bosnia-Herzegovina. They lost to Hungary actually 48-13. So some massive international matches there. Did you watch the Luxembourg-Slovenia game 84-7? Like, what did you think of who stood out for you in that game?
I haven't watched that game. Like, what do you reckon? What level do you reckon Luxembourg-Slovenia is? Like, if you had to put it to like the club level here, do you reckon it's like Nat 3? Or do you reckon there's some players in there who are like Nat 3 or Nat 2?
Oh God, we're getting into murky waters here, but I reckon.
No, I'm genuinely wondering. It could be better than that. Like, I'm just wondering.
Like, would it be better than it would be? It wouldn't be as good as going and watching, let's say, Amped Hill versus Doncaster. So let's go a level down from that. What is it below the championship?
Nat 1.
I reckon. Yeah, I reckon
Nat 1's got some killers in it. Like, there's genuinely good players in it. So, but saying that, there's probably really good players in that team as well, though.
Mark, give me a Nat 2 team. Give me a Nat 2 team. Is there a Nat 2 team out there? Max, do you know? Oral? Okay, I reckon Oral again doing the job in Slovenia. We should get it organised.
Right. In any case, thank you for that URC roundup from Ryan. Actually, worth pointing out that's Leinster's biggest ever and third biggest ever losses in the league in their last 2 games in South Africa. So I don't know how much we take from that, considering they blew away the European champions the week before. But in any case, that is where we are at. We, Ryan, have a little announcement with our predictions, don't we? We got a little something to bring up.
No, yeah, that's a great thing to chat about, actually, because Max, last week
we talked about how many predictions we made.
We talked about how terrible
and how bad they are. Yeah.
And we threw it out there to you, the listeners, the fans, the people that help us along. And Pietro Gabriele Tozzi came and messaged the Instagram handle and actually said, lads, I don't know if anyone else came forward, but I've started to put together your past predictions to see how they've turned out. It'll take me a few days, though. So he's put it into play. He started to do it. We've messaged back, said, amazing work. Thank you very much. We're looking forward to it. So he's in the process, boys, because we've got to get back to him. We've actually got to get back to him. But Pietro, what we'll do is we've got to give him, he couldn't find the World Cup predictions for the quarterfinals. So we're going to send him those. I don't know where or what they will be or who did them. And then I think we get him on. I reckon we get him on to give us his rundown next week, boys.
It's so to analyse the way we pick teams. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, so thank you to Pietro. But also, what we do want to do is we want to make sure we start this segment again. We loved it, boys. We want you to send in your filthiest and weirdest rugby stories. Send them to the email, which I need to check, maulournothingshow@mail.com. Max, what do we want from the people?
We want weird tales of your most ludicrous, your most wonderful, your most funny, comedic, and maybe even dark, or rugby tales. That'd be lovely. That would be our privilege to comment about them and read them out for you.
And we'll have a little read out of them. We'll go through them. So send it to the email. Do you know what? I'll check the emails as well this week.
Yeah, there might be a
whole load. We need more of it because that when we did it in person and we didn't know the stories and we just had to read what was printed out for our rumour wall section. And I did have
a laugh. Yeah.
Max, someone else has also come in here. James Chutter. And said, ask Max who Bangcocked him in the tunnel as he came out at half-time for the Gloucester game. Did someone Bangcock you in the Gloucester game?
I think it was... someone did. I'm pretty sure it's Jamal. Jamal Ford Robinson. No, it wouldn't have been because he was starting. Who was it? As it came out at half-time.
But someone did. Someone
did.
Made an attack on your wee bobby.
Yeah, we're Twig and Berries. Who was it? Who? What was the account? Who said that?
Someone called James Chutter. He must have just seen it. He must have just seen someone tap your penis and then laugh about it and message us. So you see more stuff like that. Yeah, message in.
But I do remember that. Yeah, I can't remember who it was though.
Gentlemen, big shout out to our sponsors that are Wolf Craig Distillers. Head over to the website, which is
wolfcraig.com.
Go and grab yourself a wonderful whiskey. Boys, there could be a little trip on the cards for us with and through Wolf Craig. They're about to start their distribution in Dubai. And Jamie, the CEO of Wolf Craig, was over there and he went into a wonderful bar. I think I might have spoken about this before, and one of the owners of this bar listens to the podcast. So they're potentially wanting us to go over and do a live podcast in Dubai right after Max's schedule's finished. So we'll be putting that together. So anyone that wants to jump out to Dubai with us, drop us an email, drop us something, and we'll take one of you with us maybe. You never know.
They get a free night on the tiles with them all or nothing, lads. How about that?
In Dubai. Can you actually imagine?
I'm scared.
But listen,
I'm genuinely
it's happening,
scared.
Boys. We're getting taken to Dubai. But thank you again to our sponsors that are Wolf Craig Distillers. Have been with us all the way. And I'm looking forward to that. Let's make it happen, boys. I need a holiday. I need a bloody holiday. I'll tell you what, I also need golf lessons. I played Trump Turnberry in the week. Oh, boy. It's all coming together, boys. It's all coming together. I genuinely think this is a great idea as well. And tell us if you want to see this, people. But me, Max, and Mark go and play golf together.
I will be there for years.
The most unwatchable broadcast ever.
No, it won't be. That's what makes it beautiful. I think we should be going and playing golf together.
5 holes. 5 holes, that's all.
There's one idea, and there's another little idea in motion, which I don't want to give out there because I think other people will steal it, but it's got something to do with travel, which I put out to you, Mark. I'll tell you afterward, Max. But yeah, played the Trump Turnberry in the week. Beautiful golf course. I was absolutely shocking, though, and it was quite an important golf day. And today, I'm playing in a charity golf match down at Loch Lomond, the famous Loch Lomond, but with like... it feels like pretty important. It feels like I should be good at golf, and I'm rocking up, just shanking the ball. So you don't need to be good, Max.
No. Yeah, but in your line of work as an ambassador, as a boozer and a smoozer, you do need to be somewhat good.
Nah, because I think this is how I look at it. I reckon I make the people that I play golf with feel better about their golf. That's how I.
Just such a good guy. I'm being shit for you guys. That's why I'm doing it.
Like the bloke I played with at Trump Turnberry, Big Ricky, fucking hole in one. He got a hole in one. It was, and I'm like ready to take my top off. Bearing in mind, I'm there with the managing director of Trump Turnberry. I'm there with an ex-pro golfer, Ricky. I'm like, yeah, giving it big and like ready to take my top off. And they're like, oh, and I'm jumping on Ricky going, come on. I was like, Ricky, mate, like, you must be buzzing. He was like, oh, it's my 9th hole in one. His 9th hole in one. I was like, what the fuck?
That's a lot of golf. That is a lot of golf.
That is a lot of golf. Some people
can we just appreciate, though, Max, that Ryan, knowing that it was an important day, about a week ago, really going like, oh shit, I've got to get good at golf. I'll go and get this pro to help me be good. Oh yeah, why didn't everybody think of just having a pro for a week and then you're good? Yeah, that's how it works. Then you're great at golf. So fucking easy.
Well, I'm looking forward to playing you boys anyway.
That'll be. He's had pro lessons though now. But that's if you're not travel blogging. Can we just shout out an absolute destruction of you in the comments, which I loved. Great video, by the way. I really liked it.
Thank you.
You know, sort of slightly erotic as well. How it felt. But Tom Shanklin jumping on and going just with a comment. Did you fly business class, mate? Just kill him.
He loves it, doesn't
he?
Morph. He's just jealous. That he didn't get flown to Hong Kong in business class. I said, mate, I'll take you with me next time if you want to come. But yeah, shout out to Cathay Pacific.
That was so good. And that's with Cathay, and that's why Cathay Pacific.
That's so good.
I feel like I got the voice there. I was almost thinking, should I just ask Max if he can voice over?
I would have been honoured, but I think you nailed it. Yeah, that's a good voice.
Boys, hey, let's all work.
Good job. All right. Well, sadly, that is all the time we've got left for this week. A huge thank you to all of our fans and our sponsors and everybody. We love you. Tell your cousins, tell your friends, get them to subscribe to us on YouTube channel at Maul or Nothing, to our Instagram. Let's keep growing this puppy. But yeah, we will see you all next week.
Peace out, baby. Like and subscribe. More or nothing.